Well, 2021 was a very tumultuous year. I think as we were all coming out of the COVID uh, hibernation, if you will, we knew that we had a lot of time to make up for. Our teams were dispersed. We had a lot of interruptions, supply chain problems. So we decided that 2021 was a time for us to plan and start taking control rather than let events continue to change how we act. We decided, let's go ahead and be our own force. Let's go find ways that we can innovate and create and solve problems and then make the world conform to us. It starts with management and leadership. The next big thing is technology. Where is technology changing and what can we do to leverage it to give us a competitive advantage? Well, I think innovation is change is the current state. I think that if you're not planning to be the change, you're going to be change going to be acted upon you. So if you're constantly responding to issues, you're never going to get ahead. And slowly but surely, your competitors are going to eventually push you out. You'll lose relevance. So I don't think innovation is an option. I think you have to innovate. The way you create innovation in the team, I do believe it starts with the top. You have to have a management team that believes the same, that it's we have to look at ways to do things better, and they have to be honest. I think honesty is the foundation of being able to take initiative. So I think you got to look around and look at your strengths, look at your weaknesses, and you need to address them head on. And I think that in itself, coupled with where your market is changing, where the products and services, pricing, the way they're delivered, the way they're communicated, those changes are really fundamental, and you have to address that. And everybody has to be a part of that. So I believe in this top-down, bottom-up kind of decision making. There's information's happening at the lowest levels of our companies. If we're not listening to them, we're also running blind. We don't have the data that we need to make decisions. So I really believe you want to involve a lot of people in getting information early in the process. And the management has to be willing to be bold and take the change. Your institutions are designed to not change. So you're going to have to force them to change. And it really comes from the top's will of saying, this is where we're going. We've talked about, this is the facts, this is why we're doing it. And then make the decision and have a team of people that once the decision's made, we get behind you and rock and roll, because that's how you end up executing. Since the day that we entered the marketplace, we try to do things differently. Sellmark was the idea of taking the latest ways of communication and marketing strategies and try to build brands in a big scale. So a lot of things early on we had these big dreams. And the problem is when you have big ideas, you're going to have a lot of roadblocks. A lot of things will have to be put in place to get there. And the only thing I can say is if you're going to you got to give yourself time to innovate, which means you can't quit. When things are difficult, you have to take that information, you have to turn it into something better and bigger, and you have to work through it. I can tell you from our own experience, we should have quit. The company should have closed its doors half a dozen times at least. And every time that we found ourselves in a situation, we rolled up our sleeves and said, you know what, we still believe in the vision, and all these difficulties can be overcome if we stay together and work hard. So never quit is I think the first fundamental principle of innovation. You just don't quit until you get the answer.